You've probably heard the story a million times. Building something great is this heroic sprint, right? Just a brilliant idea, a garage, and a whole lot of coffee fueled all-nighters. But what if that's just a story? What if the real, kinda unglamorous blueprint for success looks a lot messier?
That's exactly what we're digging into today. See, we got our hands on something really special, a developer's raw, totally unfiltered private journal. This isn't one of those polished success stories you see online. Nope. This is the day-to-day log of the real struggles and breakthroughs of someone building a product completely on their own.
So, what's at the heart of this journal? It's an app called BMTB, or Thoughtbook, and its mission is super simple, but also, deeply relatable. To be that instant, private, secure little space on your PC where you can just capture a thought before it completely vanishes into thin air.
And let me tell you, the journey of building this seemingly simple app, well, it dug up some seriously counterintuitive lessons. We're going to walk through 5 of them. And I promise, they really challenge a lot of the standard advice we hear about creativity and, just getting stuff done.
Okay, first up, and this one really got me thinking. To move fast, you have to be boring. I know, it sounds completely backward, right? We're taught that speed comes from this frantic energy and passion. But this developer's journal, it shows the exact opposite is true. And you can really see the clash right here. The myth is all about passion, speed, and hype. But the reality, the stuff that actually gets you to the finish line, it's disciplined management, it's tracking metrics, and it's following a solid blueprint. As the developer actually wrote, a successful startup has to be as boring as possible so things are running smoothly. And this quote just nails the whole idea. So how did he actually do this? Well, you're going to love this. He basically replicated an old school project format from his university days. And why? Because it was this rigid, super comprehensive plan that took his mood completely out of the equation. I mean, motivation comes and goes, right? But a solid plan is always there to tell you exactly what to do next. All right, on to our second lesson. This one tackles digital privacy in a way that, honestly, I hadn't really thought about before. It's not just about hiding secrets, it's about preventing real, actual damage in your life. The developer didn't just talk about data breaches in some abstract way. No, he used this really powerful concept he called chains of consequence to literally map out the direct path from one tiny security mistake to a full-blown personal crisis. It makes the risk feel incredibly real. And check this out. It's a perfect example from his journal. An unlocked notes app. Seems so trivial, right? But he traced it out. That leads to sensitive info being found, which is then used against you. And boom, you're dealing with real-world conflict and a ton of stress. All of a sudden, that password isn't just a feature, it's a shield. Okay, lesson number 3 is a big one. And honestly, it's one of my favorites because it completely flips the traditional sales script upside down. What if the goal isn't to convince everyone? What if it's actually to find the people you can't help as fast as you possibly can? This just reframes the entire idea of a sales conversation. It's not a pitch, it's more like a diagnosis. You're just asking questions to find a perfect fit. And if there isn't one, moving on isn't a failure, it's a success. You've just saved your time and their time. It's all about efficiency. And to make this crystal clear, he used this brilliant spaghetti analogy. Imagine you're selling spaghetti. You ask a customer about their family's diet, and they tell you they have a serious allergy to one of your main ingredients. See? You haven't failed. You've successfully figured out your product was never going to be the right solution for them. That's a win. This whole idea of focusing on the right fit leads us straight to lesson 4, which is all about a phrase that pretty much every creator says, thinking it shows confidence, when it's actually a huge red flag, a massive trap. This right here, I would buy my own app. We've all heard it. Maybe we've even said it. And it sounds like the ultimate vote of confidence, doesn't it? But the developer realized this is a trap. Why? Because the focus is completely inward. It's all about I and my, and the customer isn't even in the picture. And here is the pivot. The really effective approach connects the product directly to the customer's life. It frames the choice around their problem and their pain. The question shifts from, hey, do you like my thing? To, hey, do you want to solve your problem? It's a total game changer. And this wasn't just some theory he had about sales pitches. It actually drove real design decisions. He studied how successful software like this WavePad audio editor presents that moment of purchase.
It's not some aggressive demand for money. It's a calm invitation to solve a problem, and it's offered at the exact moment the user is feeling that problem the most.
So our final lesson really ties everything we've been talking about together. It's the big, foundational principle that makes all the other ones work. You have to build a system for progress that relies on process, not just on passion.
The developer was really honest with himself. He admitted that without a plan, work only happened when he felt in the mood. But let's be real, your mood is a terrible boss. It's unreliable, it's inconsistent. So his solution? He fired his mood and hired a blueprint instead. This document, outlining all the goals, requirements, and deliverables, that became the real boss, giving him clear marching orders no matter how he felt that day. And really, this is the ultimate takeaway from his entire journal. Passion is what gets you started. But it's the structured, methodical, and sometimes boring processes that actually get you across the finish line. Discipline is what turns a great idea into a real, tangible thing.
So that leaves us with a challenge. Forget that myth of the heroic sprint for just a minute. I want you to think about your own work, your most important project. What is the one structured, maybe even boring, process that you could put in place tomorrow that would make your progress not just possible, but pretty much inevitable?